My guest is a comedian from New York. He's toured the country with Jo Koy and Craig and participated in Just for Laughs. I'm excited to welcome Chase DuRousseau.
Thank you so much. When you say participated in Just for Laughs, I finagled my way onto some shows.
Yeah.
I was with Jo Koy on tour. They booked Jo Koy. By proxy, they booked me. So I got to do all these different Just for Laughs at different cities and stuff. And it was amazing. I really loved it. They're so nice.
As soon as I said it, I was like, God damn, I should have said, was at Just for Laughs.
Well, no, was at implies that I bought a ticket and I watched some fucking comedy there.
You got to be there.
I got to perform. I performed.
Yeah, that's
I performed.
The right word. Perform. Yeah.
I performed there.
Yeah.
You know? Outside of that stuff, I'm virtually creditless. If you're just a guy that lives in your hometown and is opening for people at your local comedy club, I'm just as creditless as you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what happened. So,
well, let's fucking talk about that, actually.
It's fun being creditless. Yeah. I like it. Here's the thing. You know, like some comedians have to like wear makeup in disguise to do like man on the street stuff. So like, I have probably, this is going to sound like a crazy person.
For you.
Well, I don't say never. I'm just saying, I feel like I've got 5 years max of being an unrecognizable person. By the way, how delusional am I that I think that I'm going to be recognizable on the street in 5 years? That's kind of crazy. But
this podcast
this is what
has
fuels
a pretty
me.
big reach. I mean, you don't know.
Really?
It's huge.
All right. Don't tell me the number. I don't want to know the number. I feel like if you tell me the number and that enchants me, it's going to fuck up this thing that I'm on right now.
Yeah. No.
Which is I feel comfortable being myself around you.
Yeah. I
playing video games. I'm going to interrupt you 10,000 times. Playing video games growing up my entire life. Like I've created you like 10 times in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. I'm not even joking, bro. You're in every fucking video game.
Guy.
You're in every. They didn't start putting me in video games until like Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Like this skin shade did not exist.
It, by the way?
No, but everybody I know is playing
John's
it.
fucking. That's okay. So, step back for a second. I met you through John.
Through John Gard.
And we're in New York right now for anybody listening.
Yes.
Forgot to set the stage. There's video of this.
Am I allowed to say John Gard's legal name on the air?
John Mark Gard?
Well, on his birth certificate, you know what it says?
Huh.
This is how lazy his fucking parents were. It just says Gard. They didn't put John or Mark on there.
Really?
They named him later. What'd
they do for the brothers?
I'm sure they all had their real names, but for Gard, it just says Gard. On his birth certificate, it just says Gard. G-A-R-D. That's it.
The Jeremiah Obadiah?
That's one of his brothers, yeah.
It's a ridiculous name.
These are wild names.
Yeah.
I'm like, are y'all trying to be Amish? Anyway, this isn't the John Gard show. This is about me. Although I do love John Gard, and I suggest you look at him whenever you get a chance.
Been on so many episodes of it. He's like
good.
He's sort of kind
he's your Andy Richter.
Yeah. So it's like my much better Andy.
I get it's like if Conan was Andy Richter's Andy Richter.
Mm-hmm.
I get you. I like that.
Well, any episode where I'm like, yeah, I just want this to be more fun, I have John come on.
Yeah.
And
it's a great way. Everything's 10,000 hours, right?
Yeah.
How many episodes is this so far?
This would be 113.
All right, so 9,000 something episodes to go,
Just
and you're at that 10,000 hours. Yeah, you're almost there.
Which is a good moment right now, actually, to say, if you're watching us on YouTube, like, share,
this
subscribe.
Is on YouTube.
Yeah.
Fuck. I wish I would have got my beard done.
Really?
Here's what I figured out. Listen, if you're gonna get your beard done, and this is no offense to white people, but you need to go to a barber that has like an Ekin or an Urin, like some type of like a can at the end of their race, and they know how to do a beard phenomenally.
Really?
I think so.
Do they do
African, Dominican? What's up?
The massage
of your face?
Yeah.
Would they put that hot towel on there?
Yeah.
All that shit.
Yeah.
All that
shit. Do you do it?
Yeah.
It's great.
I love if I see that Bugs Bunny razor pop out, I'm like, I'm getting my money's worth. Like automatically. The real one.
Yeah,
the one with the one, you know, the ones that the Mexicans used to use back in the movies back in the day when they were not the butterfly knife. I'm sorry, I was thinking about butterfly knife.
Wait.
The straight razor.
Yeah,
it's called a straight razor. I love that.
Yeah, those things are great.
By the way, I also love the butterfly knives. I think those are cool.
The pop out one?
No. The ones where remember in the 80s, every time they had like a Latino gangster or whatever, they would always have like this. It like had like 2 bars and there was like a little bitty knife in there, and they would do like this thing, and then they would like grab the knife. You know what I'm talking about? You've never seen a butterfly knife in your life?
Oh, the one that you flip out, right?
No, it's how do I describe it? It's almost it's like two bars.
Okay.
And you go like that, and then one bar flips over, and there's a little bitty knife in there.
No.
You never seen a butterfly knife?
I can just Google it.
We're not going to Google it and waste people's time. Just know that this dude is so white, he doesn't know what a butterfly knife is. We're not Googling anything. Next.
Now I'm just curious.
You'll find out later. It's okay.
Okay.
It's an 1980s weaponry in L.A., Latino gangs. It was like in every movie.
But they don't use it at these barbers.
No, but if I did go to a barber and they did bust out a butterfly knife, it would be the best barber on earth.
Why?
Everybody would be like, they cut you with butterfly knives, and it's amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
I can't look it up, so now I'm curious.
You're just gonna have to, listen. Let's treat. Here's what I started doing, and it's fucked up my life, but it's made it so wonderful. I stopped using Google, and I take people's words for it, and I paint it in my head, and it's so amazing. Like, I know I have Google on my phone. I'm not Googling anything. I'll ask somebody's opinion, and I'll believe it. Do you know how many years John Gard, who we just talked about, tricked me? He told me that Seth Rogen was Harold Ramis, the guy that played Egon in Ghostbusters, son, and I believed him for years. Because I didn't look it up. Turns out they're not related at all. Yeah. Two different guys.
Isn't that the guy from like, he's in a bunch of Seth Rogen movies?
Egon?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. But you just believed it.
I just believed it. It's so much more fun. It's so much more fun. You know what I mean?
How did you and John meet?
Jesus. We met in Houston Comedy World. I remember I went, my first open mic, my birthday gift for myself was, I was like, I'm going to go do comedy. And so I went the week before, and I watched the show, and I saw John Gard go up, and he was really good. And I remember thinking that's how I thought every comedian was going to be, like that.
Yeah.
But he was the only one like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was the only one like that. He was crazy.
How quickly did you just start, like, were you fully vested?
In John Gard?
In both John Gard and comedy.
Well, I'm a crazy person. So in my head, once I did it the first time, I was like, this is what I do now. I'm a comedian.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah. No, you're fine.
We're good.
Yeah, we're good.
I get antsy.
Yeah, like once I did it the first time, I was like, this is what I do now. You know, like I hyped myself up. I was like, all right, I'm going to go do comedy on Monday. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a poetry night, and then I'm going to do a karaoke night, and then I'm going to do stand-up like the next day. So I timed it to where every day I did something just leading up to the comedy. So I feel like it was.
Were you doing comedy at those things?
Yeah, I thought it would work.
Stand up.
I tried.
How'd
at the poetry place, they thought I was serious, so they didn't laugh, but they wanted to laugh. I could tell they wanted to laugh.
And this was in Houston.
This was in Houston.
Okay,
in the karaoke place, I picked a song with a long guitar solo, and I think it was that Aerosmith. I don't want to close my eyes. Yeah. I picked that song.
But you were just doing comedy over it?
No. Whenever it got to the guitar solo part, I would just be like, so anyway, the other day I was walking down the street, and I would just start talking and trying these jokes. And, it was just weird. And then the next day I did stand up.
At like 4:30 in the afternoon.
100%. 100%.
That's so weird.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. But
the next day I did stand up, and I liked it. I was like, okay, like all the stuff that I wrote didn't get laughs, but the stuff that I improvised in between the jokes, when I was like being honest about how it made me feel that they didn't laugh, got laughs. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if I write down all the stuff that got laughs, and if I go up like 40 times, it's like an hour of material.
Yeah.
I could collect, and then I can have like my special in like a year. That's what I thought in my head.
How did it work?
It did not work like that at all. It did not work like that at all. But I had fun every time I went up, because in my brain, I would imagine that I was going out on like the Tonight Show every time I went up. And I think that pulled something out of me to where I was really like, I saw like a huge crowd in my head. Like, I didn't even know what it looked like behind the cameras on the Tonight Show. I just imagined a huge crowd that was into it.
Yeah.
So I was like given this like high level of performance, but like the shit coming out of my mouth was not as good as the guy.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
The confidence and
the confidence was way higher than the thing that I was doing.
I'm envious of that, though.
Really?
I mean, don't you think that that's like you do, like, as a comic, you do have like natural, like, just gifts, right? Like something,
I think so.
And like confidence on stage is one for you. Like,
I think so, but I was also really like, I was so dumb going into it, bro. So I grew up, like, I remember watching like the Martin Lawrence "You're So Crazy" special, "You So Crazy," and I remember watching I would watch stand up, and I thought that was just them going out there and talking. I didn't know that it was an act. Yeah. So I started working at the Improv. I worked at a comedy club when I was there. I worked at the Improv, and I was like, all right, I'm going to work at the comedy club, and I'm going to see how this world works because I think I want to do it. So I started working there, and I watched the first show, and I was like, there's no way I could do what these guys are doing. Like, this is crazy. But then I watched the second show, and I go, wait, they're saying the same shit. Oh, it's an act? Oh, I got this shit. I got this shit. So that's when I signed up. I was like, my birthday's around the corner. I'm going to sign up for this shit.
But do you still, like, at least for me personally, I don't try to have it be an act. Like,
what do you mean?
I mean, I think that's one of the my favorite things, or I guess, how do I say this? Like, I've always been someone that I'm trying to do something different, say something different on stage every time. Even, like, for, like, weekend shows and shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, I lose my fucking mind, and I also, like, it gets so stale if I'm doing the same shit.
Yeah.
The people that I see, like, where you, like, can clock them, they're like, oh, they're at 30 minutes right now because they're doing the mattress joke. Like, fuck that. Like, I would kill myself if I was just, like, a movie that you put on stage.
Yeah. Dude, 100%. But, and, you know, I think we all go through, at least I went through a phase where I did that for years.
The same thing?
100%. I did that for a long time.
Really?
Or it was always a thing that I was working on, trying to get it to where it worked 100% of the time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
But that's not what it is.
It's not what it is.
It's never going to be that.
It's never going to be that.
Yeah.
100%. You know? But and there's also a time when, like, you know, if you're going through like a depression or whatever, like I remember phoning it in for a couple of years. Like I not phoning it every now and then I would like feel it and I would be into it and I would be present.
Yeah.
But it was just sort of, this is what I do now. This is like my comfort blanket, and I just was doing that. And but then it I think in a lot of ways, you know, the pandemic, all this other stuff fixed a lot of people. At least for me, I don't know if it fixed a lot of people, but for me, it made me realize how much I love
stand up.
Yeah, and then there's different things you can think when you go up. Like, it's like if I go up and think I want to make these people laugh and I want to do this and that, it's not as good as if I'm like honest and I'm like, I just want these people to experience me, warts and all. Yeah. And that makes it fun.
Well, you don't have
just going up and wanting experience versus like them to experience me versus, you know,
an act.
Oh, fuck the act.
Dude,
fuck the act.
It's
unless you're working on a thing, like you're trying to get your act on TV or something.
Yeah. It just feels like after like failing so many times, like doing like what I thought people would think would be funny, just going to like, oh, this is me. It's so logical.
It's so logical, but you don't. Yeah.
It's so scary at the same time. Where you're like, wait, hold this.
Because if they don't like you, they don't like you.
That's okay.
But that's okay. That's way better. That's way better than.
Like, hey, you just don't like me as a person.
I prefer that. I like
but
that.
You're not gonna tell me I'm not funny.
Right.
Like, that's a different thing.
Right. That's a different thing. But there's a point where I think we're trying to escape that. Yeah, like we would rather them not like us as a person than to not think we're funny. But in actuality, they're both one and the same. If that makes any sense, you know what I mean. Depending on what you're selling. Well, if you're going up there and selling,
if you're a comic and you're trying to like, if the goal is to appeal to everybody, then
which is a nightmare. Yeah. Why would you want to do that to yourself? We've all been that way.
Well, you see it though.
You see it.
It's the creepiest comedy.
It's the creepy,
like,
bro.
Gallagher is technically that, you know, where it's like he could be for everyone in the family or no one if you really think about it.
Have you noticed that the people that try to be for everyone, there's like a serial killery thing going on? Like there's something. Your eyes are fine, bro. They just cut through steel. They're fine. They're fine.
I got creepy fucking eyes.
You got eyes like a toy, like an action figure. Yeah. Again, yeah, I get it.
It's like a doll or something.
It's like a doll. It's wild. It's wild.
It's uncomfortable. Anytime I meet somebody new, I'm just like, God, this is gonna be like.
Have you ever
a week for them to have to adjust to it?
It takes a second to adjust to, but I'm used to it now. I walk down the street with you like 20 minutes to get here. Is there? Do you have any pictures of you next to a skateboard or a surfboard?
Why? Like
you have a surfboard thing.
eyes?
Yeah, you have
Really?
the eyes of a surfer.
Really?
Yes.
I thought it was a skateboarder.
Well, and they didn't have surfing video games when I grew
Yeah.
up, so I had to play Tony Hawk. But I'm saying, like, you seem like you would be comfortable next to a surfboard.
I mean, I've surfed before.
Done. I'm not psychic. I'm a
you've
vibe
never-
guy. Do you see how I just did that? Do you see how I just did that? You're from Seattle. How the fuck should I know that you've surfed before? I felt that in the universe.
You've never surfed?
Never surfed.
It's pretty fun.
I'm sure it is. I want to surf just for the that's the great thing about surfing. It's just like comedy. Once you do it once, you can say you're a surfer.
Yeah.
There's lots of people in comedy, they do it once. It's like, I'm a comedian. How many times have you gone up? Like 4 times 10 years ago? It's like, you're not, whatever. You're whatever. You know?
There seems to be a fair amount of that here.
It's a title. It's a title. It's a title you give yourself.
Okay, I want to talk about Jo Koy. I got a couple topics for you.
Okay.
We're going to jump around.
You have notes on here?
Yeah.
Okay,
I prep my interviews.
Okay, good.
I do.
Why? You're so easy to talk to. On the way up here, we were fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to interview.
But there are stuff that I have to do for that.
For what?
Just like, if you're watching us, so that new people come across the episode, hit the like button, notifications bell.
Smash that like button.
All that stuff. Throw a comment in for Chase.
Click ding the bell.
What's your social, by the way?
It's my name, which you're not gonna spell it right, but it's Chase
I
DuRousseau. DuRousseau.
Oh shit! I was uploading.
No! I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Here, I'll twist it out of the way. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
Good.
You're good. Okay, here. We don't need this. This we don't need.
Yeah.
This we don't need. This we don't need.
There's porn.
We don't want the humans to see the porn. There, we'll face it that way. Nobody's the wiser. Shit.
What's your social media?
Here.
It's all right.
Chase DuRousseau.
Okay.
Chase DuRousseau. I capitalize the R because I think it makes it easier to spell. Yeah, there might be a little bit of something.
Okay.
I need to post more.
You do need to post more.
I just started. I feel like I just started posting like a week ago.
How old are you?
39.
39.
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
You look 20.
You know, that's my state of arrested development. That's where I'm at.
How do you feel at 39 in comedy?
I haven't thought about it yet. I'm sure I could look at it and learn to accept it, and then I could look at it and also look at it in a bad way, but I generally tend to be somewhat of an optimist.
Okay, I'm not asking this for you. I'm asking this for me. I've been out here for a week. I feel old in New York.
You feel old?
You're almost 10 years
because
older than me.
the city is old, but the city is also young, and it's
so
constantly
young.
eating, and it's eating you, and it's
my
wanting
God.
to shit you out so bad. But that's also what makes it fun. The city, from what I gather, and I moved here in November 2019, right before the pandemic, and I stayed the whole time, so I think that counts for something.
What did you do? Did you just fucking watch TV throughout all that time?
I watched TV. I really got into buying guitars.
Really?
I made a couple of sketches on my
guitar?
phone. I play with the guitar. There's this video game called Rocksmith. It's like Guitar Hero, but you plug a real guitar in there.
Really?
And you can play a couple of real songs. Yeah, I got into guitars, basses. I started playing these songs. I can do like maybe 10 songs or whatever. It's not nothing.
Really?
I don't know what the things mean, but I can do. Yeah, I can memorize. What to do with my fingers and stuff.
What's your favorite?
Well, here's what made me do it. I got into fighting video games and I bought an arcade stick. And I'm sitting there playing Tekken with my cousin, and he's really fucking good. And you can see how many hours people are playing this game for. And I'm like, these people have played this game for like 200-300 hours. They're like with like 1 or 2 characters, and they master this video game. And I thought, if I put 100 hours into an instrument, would I know how to play the instrument a little bit? And so that's what I did. I started putting some hours into.
But it's not as fun as video games.
Yeah, it is. It's relaxing.
It's relaxing, but it's also like you have like limitation. I played drums, so like and guitar.
But
like
drums is great because I feel like you could play drums anywhere as long as you have your headphones. You can just like have 2 pencils and you can practice in your head. You could practice,
but never. You can play anywhere but nowhere. Like it's fucking loud as hell.
Right.
To actually play, and the thing is like your feet are way more important in drumming than anything
that
else.
Makes no sense to me how you can keep beat with the feet, and it's like rubbing your head and doing that at the same time. It doesn't make any sense. The first time
you get it to work, you're like, what is it? It's like the first time getting that bike to go straight, like when you're riding it, it's such a weird feeling. It was Smells Like Teen Spirit was the first song that I learned to play on drums.
Nice.
Because it's just literally like your hands just don't really stop moving. So like it's an easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the standard. I don't like that beat is like throughout the entire
That's
song.
great.
But it goes straight through, and like once I got the hands down, and then he's like, just do the kick like that one time, and I got it, and then he's like, now just don't fucking stop, and you keep going. But guitar, it's like you're doing the rhythm and you're doing the chord progressions, and it's so it's just too much. Like I don't.
Well, it's not like I'm playing hard songs. I'm playing like Ramones, like easy stuff. Yeah, power chords are so much fun. Which, by the way, I love that they gave the easiest shit in guitar the coolest name.
Oh yeah,
I just know power chords. Yeah, that sounds amazing.
It's super easy.
It's super easy, but it's fun.
But some of them start getting weird. Like when your hand starts turning this way on guitar, like to actually do like real chords and stuff, and then you have to change like it doesn't.
It's a muscle. It's crazy.
But I don't think it'll ever work for me. But
you haven't given it 100 hours.
Yes, I have.
Oh, never mind.
I played music all throughout high school, and it was. I heard Bill Burr talking about this once, where he was like, he was a drummer, and when he went into stand up, it was the first thing that he did that he felt like he didn't suck at. Like, I felt the same way, where it was like being funny didn't feel like work.
Mm-hmm.
Drumming was work.
Right.
Playing guitar was work. Being like cracking jokes and being funny, like even if it is work, but it doesn't feel like work. Like
right.
It's if you can dunk a basketball, like you can fucking dunk. Like you can work to get up to the point to where you can dunk, and you can get better at dunking, but like you got to have that baseline. I can dunk. Or really work your ass off to like Nate Robinson can dunk.
Mm-hmm.
He was 5'6", so like he worked up to it,
right.
But like there's also guys that are fucking 7 feet tall that can dunk.
Yeah, they can just skip and they dunk.
Yeah, like John said, it's like you either got it or you ain't.
Right.
Like you just fucking. There's something about it, but with music, it was never. I could put that 100 hours in, and I would be still fucking terrible.
Right.
And it wasn't fun. Like Tekken would be fun. It's like, I'm good with that because you're just fucking around,
Yeah, yeah.
But those games are all those combinations, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, like you have to get the exact sequence down.
And there's a timing to it too.
It's
very similar. It's all comedy, boxing, timing, dancing. It's all the same shit, It's all very similar to drums, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
You're right.
I mean, at least it's weird that they use the same verbiage for boxing as stand-up. Because it does feel like at times when you're on stage that you're in this, like, contentious type arena environment. Like, the audience is... You're playing to the audience, but they're all, like... You got to get them to give it up.
Yeah.
And how you do that is differently.
100%.
But yeah, we bounced around a little bit there.
Didn't we?
I think,
I always find it weird to talk about comedy because I know that I'm not like, I haven't mastered. I don't think I've mastered it. I feel like I'm on the path to mastering whatever it is or whatever I am or figuring some shit out, but I know I'm not close to it. So I know I almost feel like a guy that's not a chef talking about, I don't know, the flavor of something, but I don't fucking know. I don't know the flavors. I think, right? I'm respect people
here.
like me, right?
The level of like comedy as like a genre has so many levels out here.
Yeah,
it's this own.
It's like action movies
thing out here.
Like the way action, like there's like some people like action movies, but they don't like martial. Like I know a guy that doesn't like martial arts action movies. Some people don't like action movies where it's just like shootouts and guns, right?
Yeah,
but like it's still an action movie
or something,
right?
Like it's all these but
it's all
nowhere
action.
else in the country, like they think of comedy as like, oh, that's that funny movie with so and so.
Right.
Like it's such a like developed thing in New York. Like
what do you mean?
Like it's so as an art form, it's so progressed compared. Like, I don't know what it was like in Houston, but the comedy out here versus like the comedy that you probably saw prior to coming. I mean,
I think it's just more people.
Yeah.
I think it's the same everywhere.
You think so?
It's just more people.
Okay.
It's more people, more clusters, more.
Do you think it causes you to be better though?
I think seeing more, being around more, because you're around more people that are bad, and you're around more people that are good.
Mm-hmm.
So we're empathetic creatures. So I think it sort of forces the cream to sort of rise to the top or whatever. Or
yeah,
you know what I mean? Maybe.
I don't know if I've been around long enough. All I know is I just feel different here. Like, I feel like I'm exposed to a lot more comedy.
Yeah,
like,
that's what. Yeah, it's just so much more.
I don't feel like I'm doing as much, which kind of bums me out. But I knew that coming out here that like it was I'm lucky for the opportunities that I got. But like I'm used to going up like multiple times a night, and here it's like I just don't know how people fucking do that with the MTA. Like it's getting from place to place to place.
Oh, you can figure it out. That's fine.
But
you said you go up multiple times a night in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Like how many times do you go up in Seattle a night? That's crazy.
Like 3.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
But it's also like the audiences out here are so different. Like
yeah.
I mean, we were talking about it. It's each borough is like a different.
It's a different world.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's called a city, but it's like there's cities inside of the city.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like New York City is just a dense little bitty state, and the boroughs are the cities inside that state.
It's so dense,
right?
Though. It's crazy.
Yeah.
What? So you're living in Brooklyn?
I'm in Brooklyn. Yeah.
And are you
right now?
Like you come into the city every night?
I usually come into the city like every night. Yeah.
And what like? When are you like coming in, and when are you leaving? Like what type of hours are you doing?
You know, it's all over the place. I feel like I leave super late and I get there moderately at the beginning of the evening. So I usually the sun's out when I'm leaving, and the sun is gone when I'm coming back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of wild. You know what I mean? Sometimes you know. It's different. It's a world. It's a world. It's fine. It's just another hustle, man. It's fun. It's fun.
But like, is there have you given yourself like some kind of this is what I'm trying to do here, and if I don't do it by a certain time, I'm out of New York, or you gonna be in New York long term?
I think I've always planned to like die here.
Okay. So
I think I'm here.
For good.
For good. I do love other places. I loved L.A. Houston's great. I'm also the type of person, I love anywhere that I'm at. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once you go to Hawaii, it's like, who wouldn't want to fucking live here? You know what I mean?
I surfed there. That's why.
It's where you surfed?
Yeah.
Again, I'm not psychic. I'm a vibe guy. Well, how the fuck? Anyway, listen, I don't know how I knew that. But yeah, Hawaii's great. Have you been to Nashville before?
No, but I've heard.
There's something magical about that place. Well, okay, I'll take it back. Maybe not every place I'd want to live there is magical, but there's some places that are like, I could fucking live here. You know what I mean?
Some places you go and you're like,
dude,
I'd be good if I never came back here before. I went there. I went to Medford, Oregon recently. I was like, I'm not fucking leaving the hotel. Like it's just it wasn't anything against like, I don't know. You just go in someplace and you're like, whatever's on TV is better than what's outside this place.
That's so funny. Yeah, but I think, we're survivors. I think we can make it work anywhere that we're at. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I guess it just depends whatever your goals are. I mean, I have weird goals.
What are your goals?
Like I've had the same goal since Jump Street. This shows you how off the beaten path I am, or how I have no idea what I'm doing. Like I just was like, I looked at the options out there. If I could do my dream thing, what would it be? And it would be like, who wouldn't want to make a movie and just put all your friends in it? That's all I want to do. And I guess I was like, I could do that through stand up, I guess. And I just started doing stand up, and I kept doing stand up. I'm still doing stand up, and now it's just like, I just need to write that movie. Fuck. You know what I mean? It's fine.
You probably need to do that.
Probably need to do that. I was like, I could have just done that the whole time, but there's an immediate thing about, stand up and being yourself and all other stuff.
Do you know Opie? Oleg Bayou?
No.
It
sounds delicious. What is it?
He's a person.
Oh, okay, right. I was like, Oleg Bayou. What kind of pie is that?
I know. I know I fucked his name up, but he did the pod like probably 5 episodes ago.
Mm-hmm.
And last night I went out to a show with Wilfred, just like hanging out with him. And Opie was in town. He had just announced that like his thing got picked up by Hulu. So him and this guy Benny.
What's his thing? Like a stand-up special?
It's he's acting and he wrote and acted in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's some kind of show for Hulu, but they were in town shooting, looking for spots to shoot at, like scoping out places.
That's great.
So he came to the show with his like co-star and the director, and it was just the craziest timing because like I had him on the pod recently and like just was hanging out with Wilfred, who's been on the pod, and like New York's just a crazy place where like that actually can happen, where like all 3 of us happen to be in town at the same spot and just at like, it was a cool show. It wasn't like anything special. But
so you're on
like,
Hulu?
No, but like I had never hung out with both those guys at the same time in the same place.
Right.
But I knew them through each other.
Right.
So it was just cool. But I figured you might know him. He essentially did what you're talking about. He started in San Diego.
Yeah.
And then ended up moving out here doing stand-up, and then moved to L.A., wrote his shit, and like do you know Andrew Lopez?
Love Andrew Lopez.
Yeah,
One of my favorite people.
He like does the road with Andrew.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. So like that's how I met Opie, was with
great.
Andrew when they were like co-headlining up in the Pacific Northwest.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Andrew Lopez. I've been to his house. I showed him. We watch movies and stuff. He's a cool dude. I love Andrew Lopez. Yeah.
He's
Has he been on the show yet?
He hasn't, but he's an interesting.
What the fuck? I want to be on the Andrew Lopez episode. Let's get 3.
Dude, he's so positive.
Yeah,
he's like one of the most positive people I've met in comedy. All the time in comedy, you meet like people like me, just like bummed out.
I don't think you're bummed out.
Sometimes
I think you're bummed out because you feel like that's the character that you're just around people that are doing that because we're empathetic people. But you're not a bummed out. I've been around bummed out guys. You're fine.
Yeah,
you're fine.
Yeah, it's Guard Dog helps with that.
With what? Pull you out of it?
Yeah.
The funks?
Yeah, we talk. He and I talk. Do you and him talk every day?
I talk to Guard a lot. I don't know about every day. Yeah. I'd say maybe every 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, he's a big phone guy.
He's a big phone. I'm a phone guy.
Same here.
Oh, dude, we got to do a 3-way.
It's on
the devil's 3-way on the phone.
God damn. So Andrew, he worked with Jo.
Mm-hmm.
And is that how you know him?
Did I meet him? Is that how I met him? I probably met him on the road with Jo.
Okay.
And Lopez would come through sometimes, and we were always working on projects and fantasizing about this would be a cool movie. This would be a cool movie. You know
how
did
you get with Jo though? Like, so Jo Koy.
Check it out. The first show I ever hosted at the Improv in Houston there was a stand-up comedy contest called Houston's Funniest Person, right? And it was at the Laugh Stop, and I won that contest. And they're like, well, the reward you get. Well, I made it to the finals the first year I did it, and the reward you got was getting to open for somebody. And the Improv was like, well, we're not going to have them be the first people that book you. You want to do this weekend with Jo Koy? And I was like, do I? And that's how I met him, first week ever.
For him?
I hosted for him. Okay. It was my first week ever. I just had this little 10-minute thing that I did. And that was the first time I met him. And then whenever he would come to
Houston's
town,
Funniest before Guard Dog?
I won it the next year. Yeah,
okay,
the year I won it, Guard got second place.
Because there was a video I messaged you. There's a very funny video. Speaking of YouTube stuff, of Chase and John on the Houston morning news.
Oh yeah.
And you did the penguin.
Oh yeah, so silly. Yeah,
so fun. Who was the other guy?
Donnie Johnson. That guy, he lives in Las Vegas now. Super funny dude.
Yeah.
And whenever I won the contest, we got to go overseas and entertain the troops in Iraq and Kuwait.
Really?
And Donnie Johnson was on that tour. Me, Donnie Johnson, this other comic, Ray Barnett from Houston. It was
I've heard that name.
Yeah, it was a whole lot of fun.
And how was that? Like,
it was wild. I'd never left the country. Like, I hadn't even at that time, like outside of Mexico, because I'm from Texas, but I'd never been to like Canada or anything. So that was my first time going to another country. And it sounds so stupid, but I remember being like in the airport in another country and just looking at kids playing, and they play the same way as kids out here. Mm-hmm. And I just remember being sort of fascinated. Like, they're wearing different things, stuff like that, but just the mom's still a mom and the kids are playing just like kids out here. And I just remember thinking how fucking cool that was. And
did you feel that way when you moved to New York at all? Just like in terms of
like the culture shock?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first I went to LA like probably 8 years before I came to New York, and I was there. So that was a different culture too. Mm-hmm. But then just going on the road, you see the different places, and there's just like slight differences between people culturally.
Did you go to Medford, Oregon?
I've never been to Medford, Oregon. It sounds like a world.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, no, it's definitely a culture thing. But I've always romanticized life in New York because of the world of music and movies and just entertainment in general.
Yeah.
Even people that don't like New York, when they would film it, you could see the love or the hate in whatever art people put out when they talked about it, whatever. So I love how polarizing it is. You know what I mean? But also I can't help but love that it's something that feels so America, because it's like just the culture of like, these little businesses next to each other and just these different, foods. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd never had like in Houston, it's like Vietnamese, Mexican, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tex-Mex, you know what I mean? Louisiana food. Like, you know what I mean? You had all these different types of food, but I'm just constantly blown away. Like New York City feels like the bar from Star Wars. Like just spread out all over the place. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like there's just a little bit of everything.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
So did you come here when you were working with Jo, or like had you
been
here before?
We did. And what I noticed is like when I'd come here with Jo Koy, I'd come here with like Craig Robinson, who went to Philly. And I noticed that every time I was on the East Coast, I just in where I wrote my ideas out and everything, I wrote so much more on the East Coast. Like there was something about it that just like inspired me. I didn't even go to like other shows or anything like that. Just something about the people pulled something out of me. Just like the style, the way people dress, the way people talk to each other. Like this is an island, which is fucking weird, right? But I like when I first moved here, I had a girlfriend in the Bronx, and I lived in the Bronx, and the Bronx to me felt the most like an island of everywhere in New York, like the people there, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like instead of like in Hawaii, they say like aloha, there's like this love that you can feel, this love permeating for people. They look at you in your eyes, you feel that love.
Yeah.
But in the Bronx, I also felt that love, but it was just like, if I'm giving you some time, that's fucking love, bro. You know what I mean? Like if I'm giving you the time of day, that's love. And also I have this this energy about me, but people know I'm not from here.
Yeah.
And they want to help me. They want to help, or they want to, you know what I mean? They're like, oh, this guy looks interesting. You know what I mean? Like
you just have a natural energy to you, though.
Thank you.
Like when you walk into a room. I don't know. I probably have something too in that way, but like you feel it. I don't know. And I've had a lot of people on the pod before, and it's not like, that's not a normal, like, not everybody is that way.
I'm a little abnormal in that case.
Yeah, in a good way. Like it's just
okay,
like
cool.
you did all this shit with Jo on the road and stuff, and then like you've been here and like hosting, like you opened for Jo quite a bit. And everybody
which
I've
the best
to,
person to ever, if you ever want to do open for anybody, like at least for me, I don't really like, I'm not the type of like, I don't like drink a lot or smoke a lot or any of that other stuff. You know what I mean? Like I like to eat, and Jo Koy loves to eat. You know what I mean? So like just the love of food is like a game changer. Like I didn't realize it until I was opening with Jo Koy. Like, we'd go eat Filipino food all the time, right? Not all the time. We ate everything, but we did eat Filipino food a lot. And I love Filipino food. But eating Filipino food, I realized there was like a familiarity with that. And I traced it back to whenever I was a kid until I was like 4 or 5 years old. I had a Filipino babysitter a couple blocks away, and that food was my like comfort food. And I asked my mom about it, and she goes, yeah, you know, you called Maria mom before you called me mom because I worked all the time, right? So I grew up on Filipino food like as a child.
Yeah.
So like,
What
like
is
oh my
Filipino
God,
food? Like,
the best food.
Like
The best food. Oh, beef caldereta. Are you kidding me? Like just listen, you love egg rolls, right?
mm-hmm.
Who doesn't love egg rolls?
Yeah.
Fuck egg rolls. No offense. Fuck egg rolls. The Filipino egg roll is called lumpia, and it's just the best egg roll you've ever had. And you dip it in like this like sweet sauce. I don't know, man. It's all good, bro. You know what I mean? All the food is good. They have like this fish juice called patis. You just baptize that a little bit on anything that you're eating. It's so good, bro.
Is the fish sauce like? Is it sweet or is
it's fishy, but it works because the food is sweet.
Okay,
bro. Try Filipino spaghetti.
Oh, I've had that before.
Yeah, it's also Chef Boyardee, I think, but it's amazing. I grew up on that shit, so I love it. But it is all good, bro. It is all good. I love different food, different cultures. Anyway,
so you open for him, but then like,
but getting to go places with Jo Koy is insane because like in Hawaii, he's not Hawaiian. But to Hawaii, he's Hawaiian. Like, they gave him, like, a key to the city. I think they had, like, a Jo Koy Day, shit like that. Like, going to Hawaii with Jo Koy is like going to Toontown with Roger Rabbit. Like, everybody loves that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Going to the Philippines with him, it's like everybody loves this dude. Like, they treat you like royalty just because you're in that group. You know what I mean?
How does that work, though, when you're, like, working with him on the road? Are you based at the same place that he is, or do you just meet him every weekend where he's going, or...
Oh, dude, it was so much fun. I would fly with him. We would fly to different places, and then a lot of times we would fly to the tour bus, and the tour bus would hit up like 3 or 4, cities in that area or whatever.
Okay.
So we would fly to the tour bus.
You were based out of here?
No, I was based out of Houston at the time when it started, and then I moved to LA.
Yeah.
Sort of like halfway through it. And and it was a whole lot of fun.
So what was like the schedule like?
Pretty much Thursday through Sunday we were doing shows a lot, and then Monday through Wednesday we were just in LA doing his podcast and doing fun stuff in LA. Yeah.
That's some
projects. Oh, dude, he's always working on some fun projects, man. He's always doing like a cartoon or whatever, working on stuff, you know what I mean? But it's just so inspirational to see how he does stuff and makes it work. And he's also like got the coolest fucking family that you've ever seen in your entire life. And he's like a dad to everybody. Like, that's the craziest part. Like, he's got this like dad energy. And I'm like, fuck, I want to be like a dad. Like, I have like that dad energy. Like, there's something healthy and that should happen to a guy at a certain point where you just sort of become, a fucking cool dad. You know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Or you could be a cool uncle guy, whatever.
So much of comedy too is like, once you start getting established and stuff, like, you don't get better on your own. Like, there's somebody that puts their arm around you and says like, hey man, don't do like you do get better on your own in some ways, but like, there's a big Carl Lee, this guy I worked with, he's super fucking funny, worked with Bill Bellamy, all this shit. Like, he was saying, he calls it the Fraternity of Comedy, which I don't like that word because it's like that, it makes it sound like it's only male, but like,
right,
there's a culture like amongst like real comics that are like good people where they like, if they can help you, they will. Like, it's not, and especially if they're friends with you, but like, people like John Gard, like, I've learned so much just by hanging out with him and like being homies. And I think I've like taught him about stuff, like, because I'm sober too, and he got sober like way after I did. I was like 10 years sober when we met.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Like, we can talk about that type of shit, but it's just such a, there's no relationship that like I've ever had in my life that's similar to like a comic to comic relationship. Like, unless you're both comics, you'll never understand it.
You'll never understand it. I don't know how to explain it. So funny you mentioned John Gard too. Like, he's the first roommate I ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I moved out.
How was he as a roommate?
He was so fucking cool, dude. We lived in a box. We lived in, I don't want to say like a box, but like the place was like just basically the size of a New York living room, I guess. It just wasn't like this, like maybe was a 300 by 300 place. It was just 2 beds.
How big?
First of all, when I moved there, this motherfucker didn't even have a bed. He was just sleeping on the floor. I go, all right. And I bought 2 beds because I'm like, I can't have a bed for me and have you sleeping on the floor. We both got to get a bed.
Yeah.
So I got these 2 beds that were also futons. So it's like we could turn them into 2 couches that were facing each other. You know what I mean?
God damn. And
it was just so much fun, man. We made that room work, bro. Like it had green walls. It was.
How old were you guys?
I don't know. I was 30, and Guard was probably a couple years younger than me.
He didn't have a fucking bed at.
He didn't need a bed. It's Guard. Guard is the type of guy that doesn't need anything. He could have a couch, a floor. Like he will have that stuff just to make somebody else happy, but he doesn't even need that shit. And he's a smart guy because he knows somebody's gonna get that shit for him. He's like, I can rough it out till somebody buys me this shit. He knows what he's doing, man. He's Guard, man. He's a cool dude. That's a man's man dude. You know, he taught me so much. You know what I mean? He was cooking every day. Oh my God, that dude could cook too, man. I felt like I had a homie that could cook. I was like, dude, I'll buy this shit. Just cook some shit. He was so cool, man. We would get those Dollar Tree steaks. Bro, it was fun, man. That was a fun ass little time.
Dollar Tree steaks. What do those even look like?
The smallest steak you've ever seen. They're like maybe like the size of 3 fillet of fishes. That's how big the steak is. Is
it like a flank steak or is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. It's like that. It's like if in your head if they sold astronaut food on a regular basis, they're like, hey, look, it's astronaut steaks, and whatever your brain goes to, that's what it was.
God damn. Where are we at on time? I need you.
We can do 2 episodes.
So there's 2 things.
I feel like we just got warmed up.
Number 1, I do want to ask you, like, I need you to tell a story. If you want to tell one about Guard Dog, that's fine.
Have we not been telling stories this whole time? Okay, let me. Oh God, a story. I'm the worst storyteller,
that's
bro.
Fine. But before we do that, I know you're a good MC. I know you're a good host. You open for Joe, like we talked about. For any like newer comics that are listening or watching us on YouTube and liking, sharing, and subscribing,
nice.
Do you have like? What are some things as an MC that like you try to do, or any tips for people that are doing that or struggling with it? Because it's such a hard thing to start doing.
It's a hard thing to start doing, and it's also, this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's not for everybody, and you know if it's not for you. I just don't like when I'm watching a show and the person hosting doesn't want to host and they're sort of hosting out of spite and they're just like low energy and just bringing people up, just boring in between. Some people want to be brought up flat. Like I'm at the point now where I have to ask, I'm like, you want me to bring you up regular style or do you want like the special? You know what I mean? Because some people don't. Like I've brought people up the way I want to be brought up, which is like WrestleMania style. Yeah. Like I'll make people stand up. I get people cheering. I'm like high-fiving people. And some people hate, like I've been screamed at in the back of comedy clubs by like people that have been on TV. They're like, nobody fucking likes that shit. What the fuck are you doing? Like I hate that shit. Nobody can follow that shit, asshole. But I'm glad that happened because A, it taught me to ask them before I do it, and then B, I started doing it to myself. So even if I'm going up first, I'm like, I'll make myself get brought up to my same medicine. Yeah. And I'll get a stranger to come on stage and like read this and bring me up. You know, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Dude, it's so interesting because it's such an important part of a show.
People don't know that though, and I think it's so funny. Like the different scenes in some white comedy club worlds, they'll give somebody that has little experience the hosting position.
It's crazy,
but at the same time, it's crazy, but. In other comedy worlds, like, you know, black comedy rooms, clubs that just fucking get it, or rooms that just get it, they'll have an experienced person host it, and it makes the show. It makes the show so good. But I wish we lived in a world where the host, I think, should be getting like at least on a 3-show setup, host, feature, MC, the host should be getting as much as the feature, I think. You know what I mean? But if they do it right, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, or just in general, because you're there all night. They got to be into it. You know what I mean? Like, they can make it an interactive, fun experience, because you're basically the reset button as you go up each time. You know, you're curating a vibe. You know, but when there's and I love all, you know, there's room for all different types of comedy, low energy, high energy, whatever. You know what I mean? But if you're like a low energy person that doesn't want to host, don't host. Make people pass the mic to each other.
So how does a low energy person host well?
That's a good question. You can still be yourself, bring people up, be yourself, but don't have any, you know, be into it. You know what I mean? Like, imagine you're bringing someone up that you like. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine them as being your friend.
Like, imagine them as being your friend. Oh, God, thank God you're here for putting it in such good words. Yes. Imagine you're bringing somebody up that's your friend and they're making a tape. Like, I just imagine everybody's making a tape that they're going to submit to something, or
you're
for
the point
internet.
guard. Like, you're trying to make everybody's job easy.
I just pretend it's everybody's special that I'm bringing them up for.
But where do you get the energy? Like, because that's where, if I host a weekend,
I genuinely, there's a thing in the back of my head always, and this is not the way to live life, and I don't advise anybody doing this, but I think two things. Number one, this could be the last show that I do.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Who knows what's going to happen? Let's just say this could be the last show that I do. Right? This could be the last show that this person does. Right? Let's give them a fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know? Even if I don't have the energy, I'll make the energy happen, because it's just talking. It's not hard. We're just fucking talking.
But okay, here's a question for you though. And this is weird because we both know this same person, and I have it happen to me. Before I go on stage, I get really tired.
Yes.
Like, super
absolutely
lethargic.
The same.
And it's at least John told me, because he has the same, like, we were at Nate Jackson's club, and John is like fucking yawning in the back of the room, and I'm like, dude, what are you, like, he's like, he literally looked like he was about to nap, and it was like his body dealing with like that surge of adrenaline that's gonna come.
Yeah.
So it's how it like counteracts that is the sleep type, like something's going on there. His body's conditioned to deal with those nerves.
Yeah.
And if you get that, what do you do when you're going on stage?
Well, the exhaustion hits before you go up, but when you go up, you find it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to finding it, or just faking it until I find it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So what do you, when you're faking
that's
it like
the part
that,
of the job, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
But
Because I say fake it, you could fake it for like 10 seconds, but I'm already talking like this. I'm already into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the energy's not going to go anywhere.
So you're acting. Like, you're acting until you find it.
Until I feel it.
And then once you feel it, that's you.
It's not even that. I think here's what happened. At some point of doing comedy, I told myself, if I can avoid it, I never want to phone in another set. And the goal, there's two goals. Number one, I want them to experience me. And number two, I want them to experience me having fun.
Yeah.
You know, if possible. You know, there might be some times where some super depressing shit goes up and I want to express that. You know, maybe that might happen one day. But for now, I just want to have fun, and I want to sell me having fun. And there's something I can do on stage that's going to make me have fun before I bring this person up. I'm going to find that pathway and do it. I just saw this movie I love this movie. This can count as my story that I tell.
Okay, hold on. Now is the story time. Play the music, Henry.
Okay.
I don't have it programmed into this, so
okay, there's music.
There's music playing right now. It's really good.
Okay, cool. I saw this movie recently.
Start of story time.
Okay.
It's story time. It's story time with Phantom. Yeah, it's story time. It's story time with Phantom and friends.
Story time begin. 2 days ago, I saw this movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I keep hearing about it.
Oh, dude.
Is it sci-fi?
I don't even want to say what it is. I think you should watch it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's everything. Everything.
All at once.
Comedy, horror, sci-fi, it's everything. Love, family, drama, the movie's everything. Anyway, I also love movies. Like I think I watch most movies and I'm like, that's my favorite movie. But no, this really is my favorite movie of all time as of today. And I can't wait to watch it again. I can't stop thinking about it. But I'm watching the movie, and there's a thing. It's like a multiverse movie, right? So there's like a multiverse of different people and everything. And Michelle Yeoh stars in it, right? And oh, you can go ahead and cough it up, please. Cough during my story. It's fine. Drink some. You want to hear? Test? Have some of my water. It's fine. I don't have anything.
You scared me.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
The ASMR people love hearing like a good cough. Put it up to the microphone. Let the ASMR.
We haven't been recording this whole time. I'm kidding.
Okay, we've been recording. Okay, good. That's fine. I mean, I'll do this again. We should do another one because I felt like I'm a little rusty at the top. Yeah. You made me really comfortable, which I'm surprised. I'm really comfortable. I forgot the camera was there. I'm watching this movie, and in the movie, like for them to, I don't want to spoil anything, but like to sort of, access the multiverses. Like say there's a you in another multiverse that's good at painting. If you want to access that guy, you gotta bite a candle or eat a bite of a candle or whatever. Do something really goofy that wouldn't make any sense, but that gives you access to this other thing or whatever, right? Okay. And that's the same way as like having fun on stage. Like what can I do? Like if I were to do this ridiculous thing, would that make me sort of have fun because of how stupid it is? And I've been doing that. So when I saw that movie, that really connected to me on another level. But back to the movie. So I'm watching this movie and I really love it. And Michelle Yeoh stars in it, who's been in all these movies that like I grew up watching and stuff like that, like all these different martial arts movies and action movies and everything like that. You know what I mean? And I think she was recently. She was in Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and anyway, amazing actress in a James Bond movie for sure. Really good. And I'm watching this movie. I'm a really bad storyteller. I have ADD, self-diagnosed. I'm not rich, but you know what I mean. It is what it is. So I'm watching the movie, and the guy that plays her husband, like I recognize the dad in the movie. It's David Lopan from fucking Crouching Tiger. I'm not Crouching Tiger. Sorry, David Lopan from Big Trouble Little China, right? She was in Crouching Tiger. I think. Who knows? She's just great. I just love everybody. But I'm watching the movie and I'm looking at her husband, and he's the guy that plays her husband in the movie, and he is giving the speech in this movie, and I'm like, I think I know this guy from something. I know this guy from something. And it's something about his voice, and he's talking, and I go, this is motherfucking Short Round / Data from Temple of Doom and Goonies. Like, what the fuck? Like, where's this guy been? Because I'm a huge like DVD special features guy, and like IMDb, like I'll Google stuff, and I have like the stupidest facts in my head, nothing of any value. Couldn't tell you anything about the war happening right now. I don't watch the news. I found out about what's going on in the world like after they make a South Park about it. I know nothing. I would rather. I live in a fantasy world, so that's my greatest flaw. Well, one of many. But when I realized that that's who that guy was, I like almost broke down because like I missed that dude. Like growing up when I would watch Goonies, there weren't any black kids in Goonies. It wasn't Stranger Things where they had like a black character and then they develop him like a few seasons in. He's like a fully formed character. This was the guy that I related to You know what I mean? And this group of white kids is like, I'm Data. Like, you know what I mean? I'm this little Asian kid for sure. And even Indiana Jones, there's no kids in the movie that's like teaming up with him and doing shit but him. So in my head, I'm like, that's me. I'm that guy. That's how I used to watch movies. I don't know about you, but like I remember, you seem a little younger, when Ninja Turtles 1 came, I remember watching that with friends. I'd be like, I'm Michelangelo. Fucking called it. I called it. I'm Michelangelo. You can pick whoever you want to be. And we made movies like video games. You know what I mean? Like, that's me. I'm doing that right now. I just fucking kicked that guy. You know what I mean? So to see this guy that I grew up watching was wild. 'Cause like the last thing I remember hearing about is that like I think he did like some fight choreography for like X-Men 1 or something like that. That's the last thing I remember hearing about him, and to see him in this movie felt fucking amazing to where I realized it like 30 minutes before the movie was over, and I was like, I need to watch this again now, knowing that this fucking guy from these classic movies that I grew up watching.
Distracted from.
And I read an interview. I think he said he watched Crazy Rich Asians, and that inspired him to come back to acting after like 20, 30 years or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck?
That's wild.
And to be in this movie and knock it out of the park, because it's a multiverse movie. So there's like 7 different versions of this guy, but he made acting look easy.
How long is that movie, by the way?
Probably regular movie length, like an hour and 45 or something, if I had to guess.
Okay. So
hour
not
30, hour 45.
With 7 different like.
Well, I'm throwing a number out there. Like, there's different multiverse things.
Yeah.
Don't hang up. Don't get hung up on that. Just watch the movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's not. I'm saying you can access them. I'm not saying
who made it.
Daniels, which is like 2 people who have the same last name, Daniels, I believe. I don't know if they're brothers or cousins or sisters or whatever. I don't know. I just know it's directed by. It's directed by Daniels. I watched it at the movie theater.
Oh, so like it was in the theater?
It's in the theater.
Okay.
I'm watching it again. I can't wait to watch this movie again. When do you leave?
Next Sunday.
We should watch it again and then talk about it on here.
That'd be fun.
I'm in. I love this movie. I just saw it once. I'm like, I need to watch it again.
So somebody I just had on recently who like was big into movies and like worked at think like Hollywood Video and all this shit.
I used to work there.
Up. Yeah. He just posted, his name's Emmett Montgomery. He's a comic. And he just posted about like how he can't stop thinking about that movie.
I can't stop thinking about this movie.
Yeah.
As a fan of movies, because here's the other crazy thing. So you're watching the movie and it's like Michelle Yeoh. I liked her when I worked in the video store and I was a teenager, and in my early 20s I would like watch everything that she did movie wise. I thought she was amazing that I could get my hands on, because obviously our selection's a little limited. At a certain point you got to start going like to Chinatown and like just finding movies that have English subtitles on them. This is when the DVD days were big, which by the way, has anybody's ever worked in a video store or a fan of movies or DVDs in general, I hate that whole culture is gone now.
Yeah. Like
Blu-rays are great, the quality's good, but it doesn't do anything special features wise. Like for some reason DVDs were guys that couldn't afford to go to film school. Like Robert Rodriguez would have like these little 5 or 10 minute film school things on his thing. You'd watch these behind the scenes things. I remember I watched I'll get back to it, but I sorry, I'm all over the place, my brain wise. But have you've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
No, but I need to.
Okay, there's a scene in the movie where Brad Pitt and Leonardo DiCaprio, New York sound effects. It's authentic. Authenticity. Do it again. Okay, they stopped.
That's exactly how it goes.
They were honking. There's a scene in the movie where Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt are watching. They're like, "Hey, come over. We're gonna watch FBI. I'm on this episode or whatever." And he comes over and they watch this scene, and the movie just cuts to a shot of the TV playing this episode of this show, and you hear them talking. Oh yeah, man, I like that guy. He's a good dude. And if it feels like that was a celebration of the DVD culture that I loved so much.
Oh, I believe because Tarantino worked in movie stores,
right? But I think when he worked there, it was VHS world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I was there in DVD world, and I feel like that was such a huge love letter to people like me who love DVD special features. Like I remember I watched Pee-wee's Big Adventure with the commentary on there where it's Pee-wee and Tim Burton talking through it. And even bad movies are good commentaries on there. Like I remember watching Resident Evil with the commentary, and like just people just...
Oh, it was overlaid like during the movie?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I never watched.
You never watched the commentaries?
Yeah, no.
It's an insane world that's missing. You ever see the movie Comedian with Seinfeld? And
yeah.
that movie with the commentary on it is a totally different movie, and dare I say, an even better movie.
Really?
Like, as good as that movie is, the commentary is like R-rated, super funny, at least in my head the way I remember it. You know what I mean? I mean, there's so many movies that have great commentary. I remember watching that movie, The Rules of Attraction, which is from Roger Avery, the guy that co-wrote Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs and all these other movies. And he also directed Silent Hill, underrated video game movie, actually, the first one. Underrated. It was actually pretty good. It was actually, to me, that movie felt like a shout out to Suspiria with the way that they really dealt with atmosphere in movies, but that's another story. But the movie that Roger Avery directed, Rules of Attraction, based on a book by Bret Easton Ellis, on the back of the DVD, it said special audio commentary, secret guest, and it had like a little carrot next to it. And I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? So you go to the special features, you click the carrot on the menu from what I remember. I could be wrong, but definitely whenever you push play, the movie starts playing and you hear this guy's voice like, okay, I'm going to watch this movie for the first time. I have no idea what this is. What's up? This is Carrot Top. And it's Carrot Top watching this movie for the first time, bro. There's a scene in the movie where Fred Savage is like shooting up heroin in his fucking foot, and you hear Carrot Top go, wait, is that Fred fucking Savage? One of the funniest commentaries of all time, bro. I love DVD. I love that whole culture is just gone, bro. I remember watching. You ever see the movie Bedazzled with Brendan Fraser? Mm-hmm. You've seen that movie? Yeah. Check it out. So the movie, the concept, if you haven't seen the movie, it's a guy basically gets like wishes from the devil or whatever. He has like an X amount of wishes or whatever. There's an alternate wish in the movie that was an R-rated scene that they cut out the movie, but it's accessible on the DVD if on the menu you click the snake that Elizabeth Hurley's holding or whatever. And I remember watching this deleted scene. I show it to everybody. I'm like, if you like DVDs, can I show you this scene? It's a deleted wish in that movie where Brendan Fraser wishes he was a rock star. And it's one of the funniest scenes in any movie. And I get why they deleted it, because the movie wouldn't be able to follow how funny this fucking scene was. The scene was... It was so good. I just watch it. You can go on YouTube and find it. The volume's a little low, but it's there and it's really good.
God damn. So I had like a couple things I wanted to talk to you about, but I enjoyed this because I definitely, there was a period of time, probably when I was like 13 to before I got my license. Mm-hmm. I got hardcore into movies, but it was still like that there was that weird transition where you could get VHS really cheap, but there were DVDs out already. Right. But that whole culture of like CDs, like hard copy media. Yeah. Even computer games, like shit like that. Mm-hmm. It was a whole like generation.
It was a whole generation.
And it's just completely and I remember, I don't know what it was for you, but like I remember looking at like the first iPod and saying to somebody like in the 9th grade, I was like, I bet you someday you're going to be able to watch a fucking video on this. Like you're going to be able to go to a computer and download it and like have it. And you remember the wheel on the iPod and like that shit? By the time I was a senior, there was a video iPod. Mm. Like that's how quickly it went. So like the transition of what you're talking about, it was like, it was so you went quick. From Blu-ray, and that culture was so fun. Like it was, you would trade them, and like you just being in somebody's basement. There wasn't like somebody had that. Yeah. So you all went to the same place to do it because there wasn't like, hey, have you seen this on Netflix? Oh, I'll go on my Netflix and watch it alone. Like everything you did communal.
Oh, that culture, like bringing your iPod to somebody's house. Like, can I like put some songs on here? Like, fuck yeah, bro, go ahead. Funny that you say iPod. So I got really into, I bought an iPod 5th generation, right? Which is like an older iPod. But here's the thing. You're going to appreciate this, I think. One of the things that I like, speaking of old technology, the iPod 1 through 5, at least especially, I know the 5th generation does. Music, I noticed music didn't sound the same on my phone. Specifically, like if you listen to like, you know, some old David Bowie songs or whatever, music's still good, but I'm like, there's something.
It's compressed.
Yeah. Even on your iPhone, especially on this iPhone. And the reason is your iPhone and even Droids now have a Cirrus chip in it. I could be pronouncing it wrong. It's CIRRUS. It's a chip that is where the sound from these phones come from. And it's super cheap to manufacture and everything like that. but the iPod 5 had a Wolfson chip in it.
Okay.
So people that are like audiophiles, I hate that they call it audiophiles, but
Yeah.
but people that are into sounds or whatever, you want to try to find that Wolfson chip, because I'm not saying it sounds like vinyl or something like that, but it's noticeably different and thick and three-dimensional to my ears, at least.
Yeah.
I love the way a Wolfson sounds, the Wolfson chip on it. I'll bring my old
Yeah.
iPhone. We're gonna hang out at some point. I'm gonna bring the iPod, and you're gonna see what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The sound on it is richer. I don't even know how to do. I'm not like a sommelier of sounds or anything, so I don't
Yeah.
know how to explain it. But there's some sort of depth in there that's amazing, and I don't like how.
Is it a clarity thing, or is it a like
the bass is bassier, it feels like
so
you're
it's
in
just
the
richer,
room.
like
It's richer.
Okay.
It's richer. It's almost to the point where I feel like that feels like you're listening to something with 3D glasses on your ears.
Yeah.
And the Cirrus thing is just a flat, homogenized version of it. But it's not. It's like,
This is giving me
sorry.
anxiety.
The way I would describe it is the older technology is like you're looking at a glass of water, and the Cirrus chip to me is like you're looking at a drawing of a glass of
Yeah.
water. They've compressed it.
Yeah, but at
So
the same
much.
time, it's like you have the ability to access this volume of shit that, like, it's so crazy to me still that I can go on Spotify and be like, oh, I want any song by this person and pull it up, and I
It's-
get what you're saying,
Yeah.
but
But it's
That's still,
also but also it makes me wonder, do I like that because that's how I grew up listening to music, and I just like that particular version of that sound?
yeah,
Or this is what I think, this new technology is dog shit and it's cheap and they know people will buy it anyway,
yeah.
you know?
I've heard people make the argument about sound stuff, so I think one of our earlier episodes, he's a producer in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
He made the same argument. I haven't had the opportunity to listen to the difference, but
All right.
I want to.
We're gonna do another episode.
Yeah,
I'm gonna bring the
it's-
thing and
it-
we're gonna listen to
yeah.
it. Then you're gonna push record and be like, all right, here's what happened.
Yeah. I believe it though. I
Yeah.
do. I think you're right. But well, shit, man. 6:15. Where are we at on time? Yeah, it's about the time we usually stop.
About, like, did we go over, or are we went a
No,
little
we're
under?
good.
Okay,
We're good
cool.
on time.
Sorry, I get
Where
really excited about stuff, and my brain just sort
Dude,
of.
do I have stuff in my teeth, by the way?
No.
Okay, I ate almonds before this.
See, that's why I flossed before
Yeah,
this.
I know.
I said, do you
didn't-
mind?
Yeah, but I didn't do.
Can
the
we,
same.
as a culture, normalize flossing on the street as much as smoking a cigarette? Like smoking a cigarette is, some people, it's not as gross as like flossing on the street. You'd be like, what a fucking weirdo, he's flossing on the street.
I don't think it's weird.
To floss on the street.
I would, I guess now that I'm flossing more,
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, the only thing I have a problem with is if you come over and this is my mirror
And there's
and
blood
you're
on it.
flossing, yeah, if there's your remnants, that's when we have a problem.
That's a problem.
It's like,
Here's the thing. You got to know how to do it. Number one, you can't look at the mirror ever.
yeah, how do you do it?
Well, when I did it in your
Yeah.
restroom, I looked in the mirror for the insertion of the floss,
Then you turn.
and I turn.
Okay.
You turn. But also turn down. I point
Yeah,
down. I would
yeah.
rather get remnants on my feet, if there's any remnants at
Yeah.
all. But I'm also
I'm
not
gonna check after.
check. I swear to God, I didn't do anything. But also, flossing is amazing because it's a massage for your gums. Here's
Oh,
the thing: the where we fucked up is that we called it flossing.
Yeah.
If we called it a gum massage,
gum massage.
we called it a gum massage. Do you realize? I'm gonna give myself a gum massage real quick.
Yeah.
It's the best 2-3 minute, however long it takes, massage that you could do for
For
yourself.
sure.
You know what I mean?
It's healthy.
It's healthy. It feels amazing. You know what I mean?
This is such a weird way to end.
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Fuck the ending. This is good shit. This is what the people want. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's manly. Like you can make yourself bleed a little bit if you haven't done it in a minute. You know what I mean? Like it's something so primal and nice.
Sexual.
And it's a good thing you're doing for yourself. I don't even know if it's sexual. It's a good pain. It's a good, like, it feels good. You know? It's nice.
All right, man. Anything you want to plug besides flossing before you go? Your Instagram.
Follow me on some stuff. I'm going to bring my podcast back. It's going to be good. I might rename it. We'll figure it out. I'm going to start posting more content for you guys. It's going to be amazing.
Where can people find your stuff?
On Instagram. And here's the thing. Don't look at my website right now, but I'm going to turn into a link tree that's going to have the stuff that you want to see on there. I'm gonna clean everything up. It's on my to-do list. Here's what I figured out, Adam Tiller. Okay. Right? It's gonna sound crazy. As a comedian, as a person in general, what if you dedicated 1 hour a week to being Adam Tiller's life manager? Like to doing all that managerial shit that you don't want to do. Grabbing a video, putting subtitles on it.
Oh yeah.
Do you do that already?
Yeah.
Well, it's different because you're a sober guy. You're used to this stuff. You know how to take care of yourself. Well, for guys like
what
me,
I need to do is manage guys like you. And
I'm in.
Yeah,
be my guy. I'm in.
I just I like doing comedy though. That's the problem.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, follow Chase at Chase DuRousseau.
Yeah.
Okay. On Instagram because the website stuff is a work in progress.
I'm gonna fix it tomorroall. So by the time this goes out,
we got a couple weeks.
I'm a link tree guy. I'm gonna have a nice link tree on my website.
It'll be perfect.
It'll be perfect.
Okay. And
be your own wingman. Take care of yourself.
Check out the video of him and John on morning TV in Houston. It's really funny. And thank you everybody for listening and watching. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to rate and review us. If you're watching us on YouTube,
can I pause this? Can I pause this for 1 second while you're doing the sign out?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You look like you work out and stuff, like you're in shape and stuff.
I try to.
For guys like me, like when you're on the road, and you're like visiting another place, do you just order chicken breasts and fucking broccoli and just eat that every day? Like what do you eat? Like how do you do that?
Why is this like? Why did you wait till the very end?
I'm just curious right now. It's not the very end. Listen, the end can still come. But what's your secret? Do you cook? How do you save money? Like what the fuck? What do you do?
I mean,
you drink water. You're a water guy.
No, I drink a lot of coffee and a lot of water. I play a lot of basketball, so that's just that's what keeps me in shape. Right now, I'm not out here, but I think I walked 30,000 steps yesterday.
You do play a lot of basketball. That's why when we walk by that basketball, you're like, dude, that's a legendary basketball court. I'm like, it's a fucking, okay.
They made a documentary about it.
Really?
Yeah, it's really good. I'll show it to you.
You want to go hoop over there before you leave?
Yes. But
I'm really bad at basketball. Can you just teach me how to like dribble good?
I'll teach you how to dunk.
No, I just want to dribble good.
Yeah, I don't know how to dunk.
I don't know how to dribble good.
Yeah, I can teach you how to dribble.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
I'll get you food.
I don't eat chicken breast though.
What do you eat?
I fucking back home. Club food a lot of the time.
Like, comedy club food?
Yeah, I mean,
like the salad?
No, fuck that.
It's not, like, I'm not having that lettuce? Are you kidding me?
It's not even a salad.
Comedy club, most comedy club salad in the road, most of their salads is like
what do you get
a 2-day-old Big Mac's lettuce. What's up?
What do you get at the club? Like you can't fuck up a burger most of the time.
Most of the time, the fries.
You can't like the fries can be fucked up and do get fucked up.
But you can't get sick from fucked up fries.
Yeah, no. But it's like when the fries are like undercooked, you're like, I don't want to. I'm not gonna eat.
Did you get this? Guess what? I'm gonna change your life. Team, take note. You can ask for well done fries and well done pancakes, and they'll do
well done pancakes.
I swear to God.
God damn.
I ask for pancakes that are well done.
Dude,
I like a crispy edge on a pancake.
We need to go get some food. I'm fucking hungry. When's your show at? 8 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
Okay, the one you forgot about.
Thank you for reminding me.
Let's fucking get some food.
We'll get some food.
I don't eat chicken breasts.
What do you? So you eat club? But are you at the clubs that much? You eat club food on a daily basis? Like, what do you eat?
The thing that I've been eating more than anything is like a lot of fruit. Like
smart.
It's easy. You can get it anywhere, and it's good. It's easy to eat.
They say a lot of, every time I talk to somebody who's like, been sober or whatever, they love sugar. Would you say that the fruit hits those sugar urges real good?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
But it's got a lot of water in it though, too. Like, which can sometimes not be the best. Like,
why? Water makes you fat?
No, it like can digestion wise like go through you. So like you're like, oh, you gotta. If you're driving, traveling,
right,
subway, whatever. But
so what kind of fruit are you talking here? Kiwis?
Anything.
Like kiwis?
The only fruit I don't mess with is grapefruit because it's
the healthy one.
Well, I like it. I just like.
You like it?
Yeah.
How old are
you? You
How old
are
you?
Like sweet.
Wait.
With honey.
You put honey on top of grapefruit?
Yeah, it's good.
That's a good idea.
My mom
if anything,
did.
I would say that it's not sweet. That's why it's like it's not sweet and
it's bitter.
And it looks.
But if you warm it up in the microwave and then put honey on it, my mom always did that. It was good.
Nice.
Try it.
All right.
I just can't do it because there's something weird about the medication I'm on. It says don't consume grapefruit. I think it's like an antidepressant. Like I don't want it to. I'm not gonna get depressed again for grapefruit.
Right.
It's a weird thing to
like
do.
what if grapefruit turns you into like a party animal? Like what if grapefruit?
If you were bipolar and it just knocked you back into mania. God damn it. All right, man. Thank you for coming on.
And Adam Tiller is allergic to grapefruit thanks to the meditation he's on. Meditation.
Medication. Yeah, hit those buttons on YouTube. Thank you for watching and listening. As always, follow us on Instagram at FNFPod. We're going to leave you with Jaga.
Wait, you're going to stop it? This is the end of the podcast?
Yeah.
Remember we went to that mic and you're like, I feel like maybe this person doesn't like me. You do look like a Hollywood bad guy in some shit.
Oh yeah.
So that's probably why.
That's part of it.
Maybe nerdy comedians around the world. It's hard for
on or stuff.
Leave it on. Maybe the reason. Maybe it's hard for you. So Adam Tiller, we found Adam Tiller's weakness. He's a funny guy, but it's hard for him to get up at mics. They like to push him to the very end because he looks like the guy that picked on them. I'm school.
The bully.
You look like the bully. Were you the bully?
No.
You were like a funny guy.
I was fat.
You just You were a fat guy? Why are we getting to this twist now? How are we getting to this twist now? Something told me to ask you about the food. See, I'm not psychic. I'm a fucking vibe guy. That's what I've been saying, bro.
It's the name of the podcast is Fathom and Friends. I was fat when I was younger. My brother made fun of me, called me Fathom, which I hated. And then I thought it'd be funny to name my podcast after that.
Right on. Do people know how to spell it? Is it F-A-T?
F-A-D-A-M.
Nobody's going to know how to spell that. Listen,
man, everybody's found it so far.
We should just call it I Used to Be Fat.
That's probably taken.
I don't think so.
I don't know why I'm whispering.
Yo.
Dude, I'm so hungry.
The podcast, listen, the podcast needs to be like, the picture needs to be a before and after picture of you now and then you like when you were like fat as fuck.
Yeah. I need to pull those up.
You need to pull those up.
All right.
Listen,
I'm
people
tag
love
you in
before and after shit. People love before and after shit. That's the, like, are you kidding me? You call it before and after.
I'm going to.
Fathom and Friends? I love, this is a fun podcast, but that name doesn't do it justice, bro. The name is, come on, nobody remembers the name. No. You don't know how to spell. It's a word nobody knows how to spell, and my last name is a word nobody knows how to spell.
Yeah, nobody's finding this.
Nobody's what?
Nobody's going to find it.
Nobody's going to find the episode.
Nobody can spell your name or mine. God
they can't spell my name. They definitely can't spell Fathom. That's the problem.
God damn it. All right, dude. I need to eat so that I'm dying right now.
Spilling it with Adam Tiller. There's so many different things you can do.
All right. We'll brainstorm. We'll come back. Thanks, everybody.
Killers with Adam Tiller. What? Are you kidding me?
All right. On the way out, Jaga.
I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. I just make the waves, I don't write them. I can hear the lyrics in my spirit as I write them. Why you wanna walk and talk just like them? I can't get caught up in all the hype and the excitement. Welcome to my wave pool, my wave pool. 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 Welcome to my wave pool.